Hi buddy, Andy here again. Well, today is Tuesday, June the 14th, 2011, and on June the 14th, 2010, I was told by my then boss that I didn't have a job anymore, and I suddenly remembered this, that it was coming up to that sort of year's anniversary, the sort of thing you normally celebrate, I suppose. Yesterday I was having a conversation at the part-time job that I do with somebody who said, "Oh, what else do you do?" And it sort of, we got talking about this, and it suddenly struck me that it had been a whole year since that day, and from that day onwards I didn't do any work. I went on to what they call gardening leave, strange expression, and then obviously I left, I think it was something like the 27th or the 19th of July, I believe, actually left work properly. So I haven't done any work as such in that respect like I used to. That sort of 35 years that I'd done before then, more or less every day, blah, 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 as I've mentioned in various posts of whatever type before. But since then, I've had a whole year of doing a lot more of what I like to do. Yes, of course you're restricted. Yes, I had to go and find other jobs, and I could still do with more money. Who couldn't? Of course I could. we all could do with more, and that restricts you a little bit. But the last year has been one of the most interesting years that I've ever had, I think, partly because obviously I've had the freedom, or the relative freedom, to do what I want and indulge myself in certain things that A, I wouldn't have had time for, and B, just wouldn't have been able to do, I suppose, because I couldn't commit myself to, partly because of the time issue as well. And the nature of the job, meaning that it wasn't, although it was effectively a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job, it didn't always work that way. There were occasions where weekends used to get in the way, and also there was always that case, you know what it's like. Someone says, "Oh Andy, right, we're inviting you to do this," or "Can you do this? Do you want to go to this?" And it's always on that Saturday or that Sunday that you couldn't do for whatever reason. So I haven't had that. Yes, as I said, I've now got a part-time job, but that's not strenuous. It's nice. The people that I work with are nice. It's a nice atmosphere, everything like that. And I was lucky that I fell into that, I suppose. So I'm grateful for that. But even that, it's only seasonal, I suppose. At this particular time of the year, May and June, it's very busy. But come July and August, there's nothing at all. The summer, here I am, sitting on the beach on the anniversary of that fateful day from a year ago, reflecting on what that last year's done. As I said, it's enabled me to get into things. I'm at that point now, and it's a very fortunate place, I suppose, where I'm actually turning things down, offers of not work as such, because, you know, as I said, it's always a voluntary type of thing. So many of the things that I'm involved with, and lots of other people are involved with, and this type of social media type stuff, it's not paid, you don't get any money for it, you do it because you enjoy it. But there still comes that point, well, I suppose you get known for these type of things, and you reach a certain level of expertise or knowledge or whatever, and people ask for your opinions or ask you to do this or to do that, and you can't always do that. And sometimes you have to sort of say no. It's not something, you know, I've always gone on about saying yes to things, but there does come a time when you have to say no, because you won't be able to give that particular job, that particular venture or whatever, project or whatever, the attention that it deserves. And if you've got, you know, anyone's got a certain amount of pride, if you put yourself and your name forward to do something, or you decide to say yes to something, you need to do it properly. You need to do it and give it your ability, or the best of your ability. Because if you don't, you're just making yourself look a bit foolish, aren't you? As I said, that personal pride comes into it. Now, as I said, I've done quite a lot. I've been able to do more radio-wise this year. With Hastings Rock, I was able to get far more involved with that than I have in the past, especially with the local music side, but even talking to people beforehand and having meetings with people and spending more time on things and getting more involved, I suppose, in the smaller stuff, which most people don't see, I suppose. But with the local music side this year, because I was able to immerse myself a bit more into it, I got into it more than ever. I've always been a keen follower, as anyone will know. But this year it was something that really excited me, and I was really able to get into it. That's led on to other things, that's still leading on to other things, and other projects which have come along which aren't quite there yet, and I'll let you know about in the future. Other ideas that I've had for things tied up with that type of thing as well, but that comes into that also, that element of having to say no to certain things, although even there I'm bending with certain things, you know. Other avenues always open up. You think you're going down one particular avenue, something comes along and it changes what you were thinking about before and opens up a new avenue you hadn't thought about. Sometimes that's through talking to other people and banging a few heads together, whether you realise that or not, and having the time to sit down, have a chat, having the time to actually go along and have the time to do that type of thing, to sit around, chew the fat, as you say, have a couple of beers in the pub when you wouldn't have been able to do that type of thing. You're able to say, yes, I can do that tomorrow, instead of having to, well, no, I can't, I can only do it at a certain time, and it's hard to marry these things up. Yes, I keep myself busy, but that's only because I want to do that. So I've, in some ways, that last year, it's been a tough year in some ways, because obviously, when that sort of thing happens, you're told, sorry Andy, you're not part of our future. Your future changes immediately on that particular day. Once you get over the stuff that happens, obviously, that you have to get through, and as I've said before many times, I was fairly lucky in that I landed on my feet to an extent. As I said, yes, you can always do with more things, and I've thought about trying to find little jobs and things like that, but and I'm quite happy to do so. It'd be quite nice to do other little projects, paid projects. So anybody knows any, let me know. I'll probably say yes to those. So, I mean, I've put CDs together, I've helped to do that, I've helped with other various charity things which I can give a bit of time to and everything like that as well. Pursue other interests, as I said, and think about other things that I can do. Some things I thought about doing, I've actually put on the back burner, partly because I can't devote the time, or other things have come along and have taken my interest. We all have those sort of avenues we'd like to go down, and sometimes when the opportunities come to go down those avenues, you have to go down those first, at the expense maybe of some of the others. So I've had a good year, certainly a very interesting year, a fulfilling year in lots of ways, and I've learned a lot more. My work experience certainly has held me in good stead, A, to get the job that I have got, but also to enable me to face some of those other challenges. So I've got that to be thankful for, but I would like to say, to that guy, Brian, the man who made me redundant effectively on the 14th of June last year, thanks very much, because I'm in a pretty happy place in that respect. As I said, we could always do better, but I could do a lot worse. I know that. I know I'm lucky in that respect. So here's to the next year and the one after that, because I'm so glad that I'm not now running on that hamster's treadmill going round and round in circles, and I know people who are still doing that. I've had people say, why don't you come back, Andy? There's opportunities here and there, and I've said, no, I could put in a good word for you here. No, it's all right, don't worry about it. I've escaped once. I don't intend getting trapped in that type of thing again. But as I said, I'm in the fortunate position of being able to say that. Not everybody else is. So I need to make the most of that fortune. Anyway, I'm going to sit here on the beach, something I couldn't have done a year ago today. So I'm going to enjoy myself and watch the tide go out a little bit in the sunshine on a lovely sunny summer's day here in Hastings. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.